Back once again, AD on the radio.
Flitter, it's you and the senorita. Whoop it, blowing up the tweeter, cause it's me up in the speaker. Back in the mama seat, top down like a player. And the sound up in your ears, it is the dopest rhyme say. Running game like a cheater, I'm balling.
So, we are just a few short days away from Turkey Day. You all set, Funkhouser? Is that a thing for you?
I will be after today. What about you? Are you?
I don't really know. I had early Thanksgiving this past weekend, just gone by, where I went to my kid sister's place. Her in-laws were in town. They flew in from New York, and I think airline tickets were exactly 1/3 the price, so they just came in and made it easy on everybody. And rather than having Thanksgiving on Thursday, when some people don't get Black Friday off, they did it on a weekend, so everybody could be free. And so, I've already had turkey round 1, and I don't know what I'm going to do about turkey round 2, because I've already had round 1 of turkey.
Who won the turkey round 1? Was it you or the turkey?
I won the turkey round 1 in a rather unconventional way by being sensible. Usually I'm not able to practice any form of restraint during the during the gluttonous Yuletide season. Look, in my humble estimation, the gluttonous Yuletide season kicks off with Thanksgiving, and it involves eating your body weight in turkey, mashed potato, and stuffing numerous times before the end of the year. And if you're doing things right, by the time January 1st rolls around, your blood type will be roasting pan gravy negative. That's how I do things during the holiday season. But I actually won in my battle against the turkey by being sensible. I had a couple of plates, a plate and a half is what I had. And usually I have 3. And man, the difference between a plate and a half and 3 is the difference between you being able to stand up and carry on a conversation with relatives during the Yuletide season. So yeah, I probably did the sensible thing. If I had to pick a rap name, for myself during the holiday season, it would probably be MC Stretchy Pants. That would be me. I definitely have problems fitting into just kind of I've let belts out for that 3-month period, October through January. I've actually sort of kept track of where the notch on my belt has to be. And I don't think it's even you're putting on enough weight to make your gut that much bigger. I think to actually put on inches on your waistline, you got to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. But it was just that my stomach was so constantly full, it hurt to have my belt done all the way up for about a good 3 or 4 month period. And yeah, so thus beginneth the gluttonous Yuletide season. But I was sensible. During the early Thanksgiving. Maybe I wasn't fully in the spirit of gorging myself on mashed potatoes yet, because it wasn't actual Thanksgiving. And I don't know. Maybe I'll go volunteer at a shelter on actual Thanksgiving, having had my turkey and stuffing already. Are you all set with the tofurkey with Canadian Jane?
Oh yeah, we went to that expensive grocery store last night.
Whole Foods.
Yeah, one of those. Sprouts. And I got a lot of what are they called? Lentils. I got some lentils going. 3 different kinds of mushrooms. And, tofu until the cows come home, man.
When I was a vegan, my mom used to make this mushroom and tofu quiche during the holidays, which was it was just, nice to have a dish. It was sort of like a casserole, I suppose. It was nice to have a dish because 9 times out of 10, if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, your meals consist of things like baked potatoes and salad and stuff like that. And during the holidays, it's nice to have sort of like a main course to tuck into. Because what is vegetarian or vegan food? Let's be real here. Mostly side dishes. And you can make a delicious meal out of side dishes, but it's good to have a main course come the holidays. So I'm curious to see how your vegan Thanksgiving works out with Canadian Jane. Interesting to see how you've had your will bent by the female in your life, only because, well, she's not American, she's Canadian, so what's Thanksgiving to her anyway? And, who's the vegan? She's the vegan. And you're going to be, will there be a real turkey in your Thanksgiving?
Maybe. I mean, she's Canadian, so she already had her Thanksgiving. Don't they have it a couple months before we do?
Well, I don't know. I've always wondered that, actually,
they
about
say
Canadian Thanksgiving.
Sorry and thank you a lot.
Sorry and thank you and oh heavens to Gretzky. I wonder, what are they giving thanks for? I mean, I know that we are giving thanks for the time that our pilgrim forefathers made it through an especially rough winter, and they had Native Americans over to lunch to celebrate the fact that they weren't dead. But what specifically are Canadians commemorating when they do their version of Thanksgiving? Do you know?
I haven't done my Canadian to American research yet, so no.
Well, maybe it'll be an
I'm
opportunity.
sure there are people on Twitter that'll tell us, though.
Yeah, maybe it'll be an opportunity for you to learn a lot more about Canadian Thanksgiving. Nevertheless, there's always going to be food at Thanksgiving, whether it's tofurkey or whether it's sweet potatoes. I can't stand, I love me a sweet potato pie because that's essentially just, the sweet potato becomes a vehicle for the butter and the sugar and the cream, and it's just sort of there to soak all that up. But, people love yams. People love yams, and I'm not one of them. You know who loves yams? All those CrossFit paleo types, because, yams apparently have a natural anti-inflammatory in them, and they're really good for you in all sorts of ways. Yeah, I'm not a fan of yams, can't handle sweet potatoes, and we all have stuff that we can't stand, as evidenced by comedian Todd Barry.
Kind of a picky eater, though, yeah. I have 3 categories of food. Foods I like, foods I don't like, but I understand why people like them. Then there are foods that baffle me. Food I like, let's pick an easy one. Pizza, yum, delicious. No need for further discussion. Second category, sushi. Don't like it. I remember the one time I tried it 17 years ago at the Cincinnati airport. I did not enjoy it. No second chances for sushi. Third category, foods that baffle me, egg salad. If I'm in a diner and I see someone order egg salad, all I can think is, so you read all 75 pages of that menu? And that's the item that popped? Oh, honey, I found it. Cold, smelly eggs. Smashed together with cold, awful mayonnaise. Also made with cold, smelly eggs.
I like egg salad. Egg salad's good. But I will say this. When someone that you're in the room with eats an egg salad sandwich, it smells like they farted. It really did. And you know what? Afterwards, because they ate an egg salad sandwich, they do fart. It's incredibly socially irresponsible to eat an egg salad sandwich in my presence, just so we're crystal clear on this. Hey, if you want to make an ass ton of cash this holiday season by doing nothing at all, I tell you, nothing. Real Radio 104.1 has your hookup along with folks over at... Oh, wait a second. No. There we go. They've got the hookup with Central Florida Mazda dealers to give you a chance to win $2,000 in cash. Thank you, Internet, for clicking right through. The ultimate holiday shopping spree. More info at realradio.fm. Today in the show, Giovani Gambino, son of mobster John Gambino, says the mafia will fight ISIS if New York is targeted. How much money did Jared Fogle spend on prostitutes? And where you're most likely to get into a fight on Black Friday. Plus, the sale items that are a deal versus the sale items that are a scam. And Funkhouser braces for tofurkey.
Yum?
No.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio.
Every day you're going and working, running that rat race at that pace in that place will leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So buddy, I gotta say that there's gotta be a better way, yeah. And you do what they told ya. Company man, bullet, a mindless little soldier. How can you live like that and maintain your composure? Before it's begun, your life's already freaking over. Yeah, I do what I want when I
So, Funkhouser, do you go in for the whole Black Friday shopping thing? Do you try and get door-busting sweet savings and deep discounts on big screen TVs? Is that a thing for you? Have you ever done that, like go stand in line at a mall, wait for it to open at midnight on the night of Thanksgiving? No? Never? Have you ever Black Friday shopped?
No. I'm a cyber guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Give me another vacuum. All right. Yeah. I'm at home doing that.
Yeah, I discovered Cyber Monday just a couple short years ago. I've only recently started shopping online. I just didn't trust it for the longest time. I didn't. I was just like, sure, I put my credit card number in here, and then you take money and send me stuff, and it actually gets to me. Never gonna happen. I made my first eBay purchases during the run-up to the World Series when I wanted some vintage Mets stuff so I could dress my dog Milhouse in it and bring the Mets good luck as Milhouse the rally puppy. Yeah, for the very first time, I've started shopping online over the last couple of years. And I did one Cyber Monday a couple of years ago where I was like, holy freaking God, this was amazing. Not only did I save so much money, but I got it done all in one shot. And it's all being delivered directly to my door or directly to the door of people who I'm gifting this stuff to. And it was amazing. Like, why anybody does anything but shop online during the holiday shopping season is absolutely beyond me. I guess, do you need to like wander around the mall and get inspiration sometimes, Funkhouser?
Yeah, I'm taking pictures of things. Last night I was up late at some, just some regular drugstore asking the girlfriend, like, what kind of lotions do you like? And she's pointing at them, and I'm going, click, click, can get that 70% cheaper online.
Do you feel? Oh wait, is this your first? This is your first Christmas with Canadian Jane, right?
Yeah.
Any pressure? Any sort of? Have you given each
Instead of
other
spending dollars? I'm spending dollars.
Duelers, like Canadian duelers. It's like $1.25 to every dollar. Let me ask you this. Have you set yourself gift buying guidelines for a new relationship? Like, hey, we're not going to go above like $50 so that one of you doesn't make this huge moving gesture and the other one ends up feeling like a heel because you're like, look, lotion.
No, we're both on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had the back. The history with her is like, her parents always like to give the kids a multitude of gifts. So, you'll get the big presents and then you get a whole bunch of little presents. And we're not talking about AA batteries and crap like that. It's like, a book here, a useful item there.
Right. So you get a like gift and then you get some stocking stuffers. Like,
yeah. So I think this year it's going to be a whole lot of gifts, but you put them all together, and that'll equal a big amount.
Interesting. And are you by any chance are you having Christmas with her family? Are they up in Canada, or is the whole family?
Yeah, they're over there. She's having Christmas with my familia.
Oh,
and yeah, we're currently Googling vegan dishes. What is vegan enough that the meat eaters will like it, but not too vegan to go, what is this?
Right.
So, that's
interesting. Interesting. Huh. What about Christmas falafel? I remember being a vegan. That was one of the few things where I felt like I was eating anything of substance, because it's like, I guess it's sort of like what's the best way of describing a falafel? A Middle Eastern vegan meatball. And if anything says Christmas, it's definitely that. But what about falafel? Falafel's tasty and vegans can eat it.
Sure. I haven't gotten behind that yet. I'm on chapter 1 of the vegan handbook. I think that's chapter 4 or 5 for me.
Oh, gotcha. Well, today in the show, I figured we kind of sort of dispense with all the deathly serious talk and the worldviews that we're known for. One thing that did happen, I want to cover this, not in today's show, I want to cover this, but who was it? Which crime boss's son said this? Hold on one second. There was the son of a crime boss, the son of crime boss in the Gambino crime family, son of mobster John Gambino. I think his name is Giovani Gambino. And he went on the record, this is very, very interesting stuff. He went on the record saying that the mafia can fight the Islamic State. Yeah, he's the son of convicted mob boss John Gambino.
Forget about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much exactly what he said. He doesn't think too much of the punks calling themselves the Islamic State. He's basically sort of like, look, his take on the mob is a bit of who knows? Like, do you know anything about the mob, really, Funkhouser?
I can't tell you publicly on the airwaves is what I know, but let's just say no, I don't know anything.
His take on it is a bit of a romanticized one. He's actually written a book, and he said that basically the Godfather movie is the closest thing to real life of there being The Godfather is the closest representation of the mafia that it's closest to real life as it gets, is what he said. But he said that Sicilian neighborhoods around New York City, as well as other areas in the 5 boroughs of New York, should feel safe knowing that they have their back against ISIS, saying the world is dangerous today, but people living in New York neighborhoods with Sicilian connections should feel safe. We make sure our friends and families are protected from extremists and terrorists, especially the brutal psychopathic organization that calls itself the Islamic State. Go figure.
I'm somebody like you know that you will never be good enough. You will never be one of us. You will never be good enough. You know why?
Like most kids from a privileged white upper-middle-class suburban background, for a significant portion of his childhood, he was pretty convinced he was down. AD on the radio.
You know, today on the show, I plan to sort of dispense with, I guess, more serious take on the events of today. Kind of dispense with the news in favor of some light, fluffy holiday content. And we'll get to that too, but this is truly fascinating, and people have been hitting me up asking me about it. Giovanni Gambino, son of mobster John Gambino, says the mafia can fight the Islamic State. Now, this guy, well, I don't know what he'll tell you with regard to his involvement in the mob, but he's actually sort of an aspiring screenwriter. He's written a book, which actually seems pretty freaking, it seems pretty freaking fascinating, only because it's sort of like, it's his take on it, and it's a bit of a romanticized take, but it's his firsthand take on mafioso dealings. And he comes from a very notable mafia family. Son of mobster John Gambino. But you know what's interesting? In some of the interviews that he's been doing around the release of his book, he's been saying that people in Sicilian neighborhoods around New York City, as well as other areas of the 5 boroughs, should feel safe knowing that they have their back against ISIS. Now, if you are not from New York City, if you don't have experience of living in New York City, I'm not coming down on one side or another of the equation when it comes to organized crime, but facts are facts. There are neighborhoods. There are neighborhoods in Brooklyn. There are neighborhoods in Manhattan. There's neighborhoods all around the 5 boroughs where people can leave their doors unlocked. There is no crime. Why? Because they're entire neighborhoods where mobsters live or they're under mob protection. Mulberry Street in Little Italy in New York. You could leave your car unlocked in New York City with all of your holiday shopping in the back seat. Come back, everything would be there. Because, well, if there's one thing that you don't do, you don't mess around in a mob neighborhood. And this actually gives some credence to what this guy, Giovanni Gambino, was saying. He said that the world is dangerous today, but people living in New York neighborhoods with Sicilian connections should feel safe. We make sure our friends and families are protected from extremists and terrorists, especially the brutal psychopathic organization that calls itself the Islamic State. As proof, he pointed out that his native Sicily, ISIS, not touching it. ISIS is yet to form a splinter group in fear of mafia retaliation. That's a story he goes with, and by all accounts, I mean, look, nobody really knows what's going on, I don't think, but by all accounts, that seems to be true. He did an interview with the folks over at ABC News, and, well, he went into great depth about one of the more interesting sides of the mafia that not a lot of people are sort of aware of. A lot of people understand the concept of organized crime and that it sort of stretches across America and into Italy and all over the world. But what happened was it started out, the birth of the Sicilian mafia, and he talked about this in his interview, it's very interesting, was basically the start of the Sicilian mafia was sort of formed to give protection from French oppression in Italy during a certain time. It didn't start as organized crime. It started as protection for certain neighborhoods. And he kind of feels like the modern elements of that are at work today, protecting New York City neighborhoods from Middle Eastern terrorist attacks. In the wake of the attacks in Paris, he said that protection is more important than ever, saying the mafia has a bad reputation, but much of that is undeserved. As with everything in life, there are good, bad, and ugly parts. The rise of global terrorism gives the mafia a chance to show its good side. And you know what? This would not be the first time that the American government turned to the mob for protection. It's not often talked about, but this happened. This happened in the Second World War. And you know what? This is a whole show in and of itself. So maybe we'll pick this up. Maybe we'll pick this up after the Thanksgiving holiday when we've got time to really, really get into it. But it's one of the more fascinating stories that's emerged over the last couple of days. Do yourself a favor. Google it. Giovanni Gambino, son of mobster John Gambino, says a mafia can fight the Islamic State group. And let me know what you think of it. Tweet me at ADSXE or tweet super producer to the stars Barry Funkhouser at FunkFM. And we'll pick up a lively discussion on it after the gobble gobble or tofu holidays if you're in Funkhouser's house. Right now, though, let's take a look at the events of today in our segment, My Weakness News. In no way, shape, or form fair, certainly not balanced. Oh, by the way, a little later on in the show, we're going to talk about Black Friday deals, which are a scam and which are not. Where you should be doing your shopping and where you should not be doing your shopping. If you do leave the comfort of your armchair and your underwear to go out and brave the crowds and door bust and pound someone into hamburger meat in order to get the Tickle Me Elmo that your kid so richly deserves. If you decide to do that, I'll let you know where the deals are to be had and where the scams are to be avoided.
Elmo shops online.
Go on. What's happening
Elmo
in the world?
can't find parking.
Very good.
Elmo only buys gift cards for people now.
You do a really good Elmo.
Thank you. That's on my resume. Also does a great Elmo.
Also does a great Elmo. When they fired that other Elmo guy for being sort of inappropriate,
I do
with
a way
kids.
better Elmo than that Elmo.
Yeah, well, any Elmo is better than that Elmo. That Elmo was a molesty Elmo. Go on.
Kylie Jenner and Tyga are back together. All right. Good job.
Yeah. I understand why Tyga did it. Because I had no idea who he was until I found out he was a rapper that was banging one of the Kardashians. Tyga said he could search the entire world for the rest of his life and never find another woman like that. What, you mean one that can get you as much publicity? Nope, those are few and far between. Are you familiar with any of Tyga's music, Funkhouser?
Yeah, sure.
You are?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never heard a note of it.
I got some gangsta in me. I'm a hip hop old school fool. Sure. He's like a hip hopper from the 90s, isn't he? Something like that.
Tyga? No, I think he's like a kid.
Oh. Well, then I guess not.
Hold on. Tyga. Tyga is 26 years old from Compton.
Oh.
And, yeah, well, there we go. Maybe we'll talk about him later, but I'm going to guess we won't. Go on.
Michael Moore says he'll share his home with Syrian refugees.
Yeah, Michael Moore, opening up his home to Syrian refugees, says he'll share the place where he lives with Syrian refugees. Why? Mostly because his home is not his food.
And here's what I didn't realize.
Yeah,
It's how he starts every sentence.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really know enough about Michael Moore to comment on him or his motives. I really don't, but there's something about him just rubs me the wrong way, and I don't know what it is. Like, have you watched any of his movies? Because I have
Careful,
not.
you say that, and then he'll show up and knock on your door. I heard that you said that I rub you the wrong way. Would you like to elaborate on that?
I don't know. Like, all I know is he makes vast sums of money off of his documentaries, which have a distinctly leftist slant on issues like gun control and things of that nature. And look, he might be completely right about a bunch of the stuff he says. I've never seen any of his documentaries. I really don't know much about him. I've got no opinion, and if I can't comment on something intelligently, if I can't comment on something in an informed way, I'm going to leave it the hell alone, and Michael Moore falls into that category. All I can really say about him is that the few times I've seen him, there's something about him that kind of skeeves me, just as a person. It's just like I look at him and go, I don't get the vibe that your intentions are really kind of pure. And that's fine. You don't have to have pure intentions. You can be as capitalist as you want. But when you represent yourself as one thing and you're really after another thing, that's where I get a little freaked out. But like I said, I don't know a ton about him, so I could be completely wrong. I might be way the hell off. So Michael Moore fans, no need to take me to task over Twitter. Go on.
Enya just released a new album. I think that's what it sounds like.
How old is Enya now? I mean, she's been going since we were little kids. Holy crap. Enya's like 54 years old. What's Enya look like these days? Not bad for 54. I mean, she was never exactly what you would call a piece of ass, but, the years have been kind to old Enya. And when I say old Enya, I really do. You know what? Based on her albums.
Google my images, only time.
Yeah, I guess, she does seem to go through life in a rather relaxed way. Based on her albums, I can't imagine there being a ton of stress. But yeah, Enya just released a new album, so no problem with insomnia for the next couple of months. Go on.
Peyton Manning isn't helping his replacement Brock Osweiler on the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, well, it's Peyton Manning. Even if you did toss the guy some advice, he'd be intercepted. Go on.
Oh. Domino's is testing one-button pizza ordering and delivery service.
Yeah, I saw that. Very excited about it. Except I'm not necessarily a Domino's fan.
I just did that.
But yeah. Oh, you did? You ordered a pizza? One button? How did it work?
I didn't one-button it, but I wanted to see how to share a pizza with a person who doesn't like pizza things, like cheese.
Uh-huh.
And it worked out.
So you can send someone else a pizza with this?
You can send an emoji and get a pizza delivered now from them too. You send a thing, yeah. It's easy.
Well, because the terrorists don't hate us enough already, we now have one-button pizza ordering. Go on.
A South Carolina man was assaulted by a stripper after he told her she needed to lose weight.
Yeah. Oh, I saw this story. This is an interesting one. This is what happens when you tell a stripper to hit the gym. 23-year-old guy named Kyle Yeomans went to a strip club in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina last weekend. A place called Derriere's Gentlemen's Club, which I think sounds about as classy as it is. Kyle said that one of the strippers kept harassing him to get a lap dance, but he didn't want one because she was more full-figured than the other dancers. And then when she was on stage later, he yelled that she needed to hit the gym. And she responded by grabbing him from the stage and punching him 4 times in the face. And he reported it to the cops the next day, claimed that the bouncers were also unnecessarily rough when they dragged him outside. He admitted that alcohol was involved. Surprise, freaking surprise. And when they asked how drunk he was, he said he was an 11 out of 10 at the time. According to the police report, he had marks on his face that were consistent with being punched by a stripper with a ring.
Consistent.
Yeah, consistent with being punched by a stripper with a ring. She was wearing at least one large ring on her hand. Her name has not been released, but Kyle told the cops that she was in her early 20s, about 115 pounds. And that's 115 pounds in her early 20s. Unless she's 4'2", she wasn't even overweight. She just wasn't a stick. Well, not clear if Kyle is moving forward on pressing the charges. Well, you know what this means. This means we now have to treat strippers like human beings with feelings. Thanks, Obama. Go on.
Domino's has more news. A Domino's truck hit an overpass in Indiana and spilled dough all over the road.
Yeah. These are the same people that do the one-button pizza ordering and delivery service, right?
Yep.
Maybe they need to take a little bit more time with the stuff that we're doing. Domino's truck hit an overpass in Indiana, spilled dough on the road, affected all the lanes on the freeway, heading east. You know Karate Kid?
Nope.
Oh, the hell, man?
Karate Kid's taking a siesta.
Oh. All right, more news, I guess.
A Canadian couple canceled their wedding to use the money for Syrian refugees.
So they avoided a tragic crisis to help other people. See what I did? Marriage being the tragic crisis there. Sorry. Go on.
Court documents show Jared Fogle, he's the $5 footlong guy, right?
Yeah.
He spent at least $12,000 a year on prostitutes.
That's, well, I don't know anything about, like, I literally know nothing about.
$1,000 a month? That's
$1,000 a month.
$250 a week? That's just splitting it up into reality.
I mean, I know absolutely nothing, zip-zing nada, about prostitution or what a prostitute costs and what you get for your money. And the one thing I do understand is there's various tiers of prostitution. So, what, he was spending $12,000 a year, $1,000 a month, $250 a week on prostitutes, or, as Charlie Sheen knows it, abstinence.
Here I come again, coming again, taking it back.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again, nobody rock a body better than me. Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again, nobody rock a body better than me.
Which Black Friday sales should you avoid like the plague because they're huge scams, and which ones are actually worth getting out of bed and door busting for? We'll get into that in just a little bit. Right now, though, let's roll through what remains in My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair, certainly not balanced. What is going on, Funkhouser?
A professor at the University of Kansas is under fire for using the N-word.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw this. Where was it? University of Kansas?
University of Kansas.
Yeah. She's in trouble for using the N-word. I wonder if it was, like, in class. I don't know. In happier news for her, though, she's been booked to open up for Chris Rock at the Apollo, so there's that.
Oh.
Go on.
U.S. Postal Workers Union has endorsed Bernie Sanders.
Mostly, I think, because he's the only candidate on either side who still writes letters.
Dear friend, stop. I am coming to visit this holiday. Stop.
That guy's licked a lot of stamps. Go on.
No need to reply. People are starting to wonder if Hillary Clinton is wearing a wig.
You know how just to backtrack a little, you know how the U.S. Postal Workers Union endorsed Bernie Sanders for president? Mm-hmm. I think actually they sent out their endorsement about 4.5 months ago, but it's just now reaching the media.
Please get 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
Oh, so what about Hillary Clinton? What now?
People are starting to wonder if she's wearing a wig.
Right, yeah. People, out of all the presidential candidates that people suspect are wearing a wig, you wouldn't expect Hillary Clinton to be at the top of the list, but she is. I mean, people starting to suspect Hillary Clinton wears a wig, and I think maybe beginning to wonder if she's hiding emails underneath it. Hey, did you see this? A 44-year-old businessman, guy from L.A., guy called Shlomo Rechnitz, saw 400 American troops about to eat their brown bag lunches at an airport in Ireland earlier this month. So he asked their commanding officer if he could buy them all a hot meal instead. He gave each of them, 400 of them, he gave each of them $50 to get whatever they wanted at the food court. A grand total of 20 G's.
The reason is that, unfortunately, I'm scared to do what you guys do to risk your life to protect me and protect my family. And if I get to go out and see a whole bunch of Army soldiers, Marines, that's something that makes me proud. I'm on my way to Israel actually now. Those guys protect them too. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I wonder what kind of toaster they used to get that piece of audio.
Yeah, filmed off of potato.
Yeah, in case you didn't get it, he said basically it makes him very proud. He was on his way to Israel, and it makes him very proud to see the men and women of America's military doing what they've got to do to protect American lives, and it was the least he could do. Also, afterwards, he joked that he'd be able to take it off his taxes, so they shouldn't worry about it. Very, very cool. Well done. Classy move, Shlomo. Go on.
13.5 million people watched the most recent Republican debate.
Yeah. That story again, 13.5 million people don't have a Netflix account. Go on.
The average Thanksgiving dinner has 9 or 10 people, lasts 2 to 4 hours, and costs $130.
Yeah, and leads to at least 2 relatives not speaking until after New Year's. Do you have political discourse at the dinner table over the holidays?
When it's a big family, the Funkhousers get into it.
Yeah.
For sure. But this Thanksgiving we're keeping it light. And probably not.
So, I mean, let me ask you this. The Funkhousers, when they gather en masse, do they tend to be on the same page, politically speaking?
Does any family?
I don't know. Some people are all,
There's always one or two angry aunts going, I don't believe that at all. Let me stand on the table and tell you why.
My family in the Northeast, look, Northeastern folks, there's a very good chance that they're going to be liberal Democratic types, and I think a lot of them are, but they're kind of elastic with it. We do have one guy that married into the family that is Republican, so he and I sort of don't fit in. He's a Republican. I don't believe anything. Like, I'm not in any specific party. I don't declare firm allegiances, but I don't know. I don't think... maybe it doesn't come up all that often because they know it'll lead to no good. Maybe people are sensible enough not to discuss politics.
Yeah, maybe because you do a political
table.
Talk show, they're probably going to say, let's not agree, not talk about disagreeing with this one. Talk about it on radio.
You know what's really funny is I remember when I started off doing radio, I was so far away from doing any kind of politics. It was like. When I first started off, I was like the overnight guy on Octane on Sirius XM, the hard rock station. And at the time, they wanted you to drop an F-bomb at least once an hour because they wanted people to know that they were getting something that they couldn't get on terrestrial radio. That was the whole positioning of it. So we were actively encouraged to be guttural. So here I am, like, a kid in his early 20s with a microphone in front of his face that's been told to swear on the radio. And there were more petitions to get me fired than, like, it was. The show was pure filth. Like, I was like the last bastion of shock jockism on that. So it's so far removed from any kind of politics or any kind of vaguely adult conversation whatsoever. It was just. So when I started doing that, I didn't want my family to listen to it because I was like, this is, I'm talking about doing stuff to, that's like, I can't remember who was on. What was it, CNN at the time? I don't know. There was like a CNN channel, and one of the things that we had to do was we had to cross-promote other channels that were on the station, and people expected me to, pick a sports station or other music stations, and I would always go for, you know what it was? It was, who'd Paula Zahn used to work for? Funkhouser. Do you remember?
I don't know. I'm newer than you are.
So Paula Zahn, I think she was, hold on. Google this, would you? Paula Zahn.
Let's do that in the break there, yeah.
All right, well, we're going to find out where Paula Zahn worked at the time, and I'll tell you what I said about her on the radio, and then we'll discuss uncomfortable conversations with family over the holidays.
Every day you're going.
Now, someone who everybody wants to punch in the face. AD on the radio.
If you are just joining us, we're talking about tense political discussion around the around the holiday dinner table. Something that Funkhouser would guess that everybody goes through. Unfortunately, one of the things the Butterball Hotline cannot do is give you advice on how to keep your grandfather from quoting Donald Trump. But, yeah, no, my family never really discusses politics during the holidays. I think maybe just because they've realized it's a hotbed of who wants to get into that. And Funkhouser pointed out, like, maybe they don't discuss politics with you because you do a political talk show and they're worried you're going to monopolize a conversation for the next day and a half, which is totally not the case. Like, one of the things about having a voice here is, like, I really don't love to talk a whole lot when I'm not on the radio. Like, I kind of feel like I get my time. Other people should be allowed to say their piece. So I'm not one. And don't, Funkhouser, you've met these radio hosts, right? The ones that are going to roll all over you in conversation. Like, it's like they never go off the air. Like, they step out of the studio and then they walk out into the hallway and they're still talking all over everybody. Like, you've met those people, right?
You're darn right.
Yeah, I hate those people.
At me right now.
I hate those people. And for that reason, I'm always kind of sort of like, not reserved, but I want to make sure other people get their time. I feel like I get an opportunity to say what the hell is on my mind every single day. And there's many people that don't get that. So I don't want to get in the way of somebody doing that. I've had what's mine. You have your fair share. So I don't indulge in any kind of conversation monopolizing when I'm with family. I kind of like let other people say their piece, and that's cool. But Funkhouser pointed out that they might not want to talk politics with me during family holidays because of the political talk show. But I don't really know if they know what I'm doing with this stuff. I know when I first started in radio, I was basically a shock jock, is what I was called, because I was on Sirius XM on Octane, the rock station, where they wanted you to drop an F-bomb at least once an hour, where people would know that they were getting something here that they couldn't get on terrestrial radio. So that was kind of like the move. And like, I just used to say the most outlandish stuff, and I didn't want my family listening, because like, we had to do these cross promotions. And as I was saying, there was one channel that I used to cross promote, and it was one of the news channels, and Paula Zahn was on it at the time, and I really don't know which channel it was, because looking up Paula Zahn, she's been on ABC and CBS and Fox and CNN. She's done all the news, but I remember sort of like, they need me to promote another channel on the rock station. What am I going to do? And I was like, I know, I could make it interesting. Paula Zahn's kind of smoking hot in a newswoman-y sort of way. So I used to say, yeah, you can listen to the Fox channel with Paula Zahn on it. Whoa, smoking hot. Which graduated onto being, oh, you can listen to Paula, oh yes, she shall be mine, Zahn. Which graduated onto Paula, oh yes, she shall eventually one day, roughly from behind right here in this very control room, be mine, Zahn. And I guess somebody over at Fox or ABC or whatever it was heard it. And there was a petition circulated by Paula Zahn supporters to get me fired from Sirius XM, because I talked about violating Paula Zahn in a way that I felt she wanted to be violated, but was not the traditional way. Is that am I dancing around it enough, but making it clear, Funkhouser?
I figured it out there. I pick it up what you're dropping, sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. So, I was just like, when I would get together with family, I was like, if you do hear me on the radio, you have to understand I'm kind of, maybe a little bit out there. You might be a little surprised by some of the things that I say. And they're like, hey, as long as you don't do anything super right wing, we're fine with it. So now I really hope they don't. I really hope they don't listen to what I do, because it's not like I'm right wing, but I'm not I'm not left wing either. I believe in universal truths. I believe in bringing the left and the right together over these universal truths, like the fact that boobs are great, fart jokes are funny, and that you have to know where your own moral compass's true north is, and you need to listen to that and follow that at all times, because you are a good person and you know in your heart of hearts what is right, and you shouldn't be knee-jerk reactioned into voting for someone that stands for something that fundamentally you know is wrong just because you're a registered whatever and they are the appropriate candidate du jour. Yep, and that's what I think. So, yeah, there's a little family context. Funkhouser, did you know that there's states where you're more likely to get into a fight on Black Friday?
You going to have me guess states again? I'm still hearing the backlash from what we did yesterday. Sorry, Florida. Gee. But I'm going to guess again Florida.
Hold on. Fighting over slightly discounted Xboxes on Black Friday. Sort of a proud American tradition. And it makes you question, makes you wonder who's keeping the dream alive. The folks over at Stately.com ranked all 50 states by where you're most likely to get into a brawl during a Black Friday sale. Now, I want you to guess again, Funkhouser, but I want you to take into account these factors. They use 2 factors: the number of people on Facebook talking about Black Friday deals and the rate of aggravated assaults. In other words, which states are most hyped for the sales and full of people who are ticking freaking time bombs? Now,
oh man.
I have the top 10 list of states here where you're most likely to get into a brawl on Black Friday. Otherwise known as the only kind of Friday a Kardashian sister would date. So I'm going to, there's the top 10 states, the brawliest top 10 states on Black Friday. Just take a couple guesses. Try and get one.
Let's see.
I'm gonna. It's not our friends that listen to Real Radio 104.1 in
not
Orlando.
Florida, damn it. Okay,
no,
how about,
not Florida.
I'm going to go East Coast. I'm going to go Massachusetts because I think that was a winner last time. I'm going to go Massachusetts. I'm going to go Philadelphia.
You could not be more wrong. The 10 states where you're least likely to get into a fight are led by Massachusetts. Massachusetts is the state where you are absolutely least likely to get into any kind of a brawl. So that's the exact opposite end of the spectrum. Massachusetts are the peace-loving Black Friday shoppers. Go on. Take a couple stabs at
okay, Washington. How about Washington?
No,
Washington.
That's again interesting. Interesting your take on America and humanity, because Washington is also on the list of the top 10 states where you're least likely to get into a fight on Black Friday.
My last guess, it'll be where the Walmarts are, and I like to say Idaho.
Idaho, no. Okay, you got all of them completely wrong.
That's why I cyber shop.
Yeah, I was going to say you should stay at home and do the Cyber Monday thing. The states where you're most likely to get into a fight over a Black Friday deal are Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, Missouri, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Indiana, Kansas, and South Carolina. The 10 states where you're least likely to get into a fight: Massachusetts, like we said, tops the list. Hawaii, what do you have to be mad about there? New Jersey, Oregon, Vermont, Connecticut, Washington, Utah, New Hampshire, and Colorado, where they don't care about anything. I'll let you make your own jokes about Southerners pounding each other at Walmart while New Englanders sip hot toddies in their farmhouse-style homes. You can check out all the rankings for the 50 states over at estately.com. Now, this is what is a decent deal on Black Friday, and this is what is a freaking ripoff on Black Friday. What do you think? What do you think the good deals are on a Black Friday? Funkhouser, have a guess.
Who's tickling who this year? Ha 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 ha.
I don't know, $100 TV. The first person in line is one of those things, or buy one toaster, get another toaster for free.
Oh, BOGO toasters, because you know what everybody needs in their kitchen?
More
2
than
toasters.
one toaster, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have a toaster?
I have 2 of them.
You do?
Yes, I do. I have one that you put things in and close the door, and I have one you slide things down and push down on. Yeah,
so you have a toaster and a toaster oven.
I'm multi-toastable.
You multi-toast. Oh, good. Well, I have no toaster. And, I barely ever eat toast, but I love toast. And occasionally when I do it, I make toast in a pan. It's the weirdest thing, but it works pretty good.
All right.
You just butter it a little bit and put the toast in. It's good. It's delicious. It's sort of it's more like fried bread than anything else. It's not good for you, but it is yummy. If you are fighting the good fight, if you're planning on buying your music on compact disc or your movies on DVDs and your books on paper, then Black Friday is essentially your Super Bowl. If you haven't clawed your way kicking and screaming into the new millennium yet and digital technology has missed you, then you really do have some sweet, sweet savings to be had during Black Friday. The folks over at WalletHub.com analyze Black Friday deals at a bunch of different stores. And basically what they did was they tried to figure out which products have the biggest average discounts this week and which products are selling basically full price. And as it turns out, best things to buy on Black Friday are that stuff that you like if the digital age has passed you the hell by. Books, music, movies. They have an average discount of, where'd it go? They have an average discount of 28%. Not bad. Toys and video games came in second, 22% off. So if you have kids, then maybe it is worth busting doors and stuff like that. It is worth getting that Tickle Me Elmo. It's worth pounding someone into hamburger so you can get the appropriate Tickle Me Elmo. Hey, how do you know that Tickle Me Elmo dolls are boys?
Punch them below the neck.
Yeah. They both get.
I thought Muppets were unisex.
No. You can tell that You can tell that Tickle Me Elmo dolls are boys because each one gets 2 test tickles. Anyways, toys and video games came in second, 22% off. The worst discounts on Black Friday are on jewelry. Jewelry's only an average of like 4% off. And furniture. Here's the thing. I work with them. They're not paying any money for this, but I work with a furniture company in California called Jerome's. And, well, here's the interesting thing about that. Their rallying cry is like right around this time and all the other sort of like holiday shopping seasons is when you hear all the other furniture places, the ones that are not Jerome's, drone on and on about their Black Friday sales, Thanksgiving sales, Labor Day sales, incredible markdowns. And their whole thing is like, yeah, really? Markdown from what? Some inflated price that no one would pay in the first place just to make it seem like a sale. And their whole thing is, if you come and shop with us, you're going to get the very best price possible year round. Don't come on your holiday. Spend your holiday with your friends and family and loved ones and just shop whenever the hell it's convenient for you as opposed to wasting a vacation day doing that because who really wants to do that? And they're like, the savings are pointless. They're not real. It's all a scam. And what's very interesting is this Wallet Hub thing absolutely supports that idea. Furniture is a giant ripoff on the holidays. Like they jack up the price like you wouldn't believe and then they mark it down to a so-called sales price and then you're just there in the store and feel like you have to buy something, so you get taken for a sucker. So be careful with the furniture stuff. Also, be careful before you buy something. The study found that plenty of stores, like I said, are willing to try and take advantage of your urge to shop. You got that money burning a hole in your pocket. You door busted. You're here. I'm going to get some shopping done. I can't go out and be with these awful people in this awful situation. It's cold outside, but it's hot inside the mall, and I've got a jacket, and I'm miserable, and I'm sweating, and if I don't buy something after having stood in line after all this, So, yeah, what they do, they actually mark things up on Black Friday because you've got this cash burning a hole in your pocket and a burning desire to finish all your holiday shopping in one go because you put yourself in a miserable freaking situation. So they're actually marking things up on Black Friday. Pretty freaking sneaky. And by the way, 17.2% of stuff is advertised at prices now that are higher than the price on Amazon. Yep, 17.2% of the stuff being advertised for Black Friday sales are higher than the price on Amazon. And you know what you can do when you shop on Amazon or any other online retailer on Cyber Monday? Watch porn at the same time. Could you do that in the mall? Well, yes, but it's very, very frowned on. Have yourself a good one. Happy freaking shopping.
Sometimes you feel like it's cool to turn the other cheek and give people the benefit of the doubt even when they don't deserve it. And sometimes you feel good about yourself for being the better person and doing that. Well, this is not one of those times.